That's why I don't do these type of projects anymore, because you just cannot see the future 5 years ahead. The construction workers made more money than I did on this deal. We got stuck holding them for probably an extra year and a half. That kind of wiped out most of our profit, only as a hobby, not to make a profit. And guess what? Those units sold the fastest. I was totally shocked and surprised. So this building behind me called City Port in Durham, we built 5-story over underground parking podium, built it in the middle of a pandemic. So it was kind of a risky move to break ground a month after all the shutdowns happened, but we still decided to move forward with it. We built throughout the entire pandemic process. It's 43 condos. We sold 1 unit at a time. The 1-bedroom units sold out very fast, but the bigger units, we underestimated the market and we got stuck holding them for probably an extra year and a half. That kind of wiped out most of our profit, because our profit was mostly in those units, the bigger units. While selling the smaller units was great, we still had the debt and the interest that was carried in the bigger units. It was probably 2 or 3 years of planning work and entitlement before we could break ground, another year and a half to build it, and then another year and a half to actually get it finished and get it sold. All in all, the project took about 5 years plus. So many things changed over that 5-year period. That's why I don't do this type of projects anymore, because you just cannot see the future 5 years ahead. You know, it's hard enough to see it 6 months ahead. That's why right now we prefer mostly light lifts that we can turn around, value add within 6 months, because you can have a different presidencies, you can have a different, administrations, different interest rate environment, totally different construction climate. A lot of things can change in a 5-year window, and it's just hard to plan when you're doing development projects and you're doing the projections. You might be breaking ground when interest rates are 3.5%. When the time you finish, interest rates are 7%. Now you cannot sell your units to anybody. So we still came out okay. We still made a small profit, but if you look at the hourly wage, I think the construction workers who were pouring concrete here made more money than I did on this deal. Beautiful building, adds to the city's landscape and to the city skyline, but economically, this is not, I probably won't do too many of these type of projects again, only as a hobby, not to make a profit. So we got 5 stories of units with a rooftop lounge. We got underground parking. So interesting fact is that we got 22 covered spaces and another, I think, 13 surface level spaces. So a total of 35 parking spaces with 43 units. So there is 8 units that didn't have any parking spaces. So what we did just discounted those units by 30 grand to sell them cheaper. That didn't come with a parking space. And guess what? Those units sold the fastest. I was totally shocked and surprised, because as an homeowner buying a unit, I would want to have a parking space. I have 2 cars just for me and my wife, so I would expect most people are going to want to have at least 1 parking space if they're buying a unit. But shockingly, surprisingly, the dynamic of this city is such that people don't believe in cars. I guess they ride bikes or they use Uber, they take car share service. They don't care to own a parking space, which was a total shock and surprise for me. Here is a covered parking garage, and of course we got some spaces that are not covered. It cost us, I think, 11 or 12 million to build it. Selling all the units, maybe we sold them for 14 or 15 million after paying closing costs, commissions, investor interest. Yeah, we didn't make a lot of money. I think we probably made less than $1 million on it after 5 years of work. So if you divided them on all the partners and look at how many man hours went into it, again, I would have made more money if I just went and got a construction job myself. Next door, there was supposed to be a second building to be built after this, but after this experience, I just said it's just not worth the time. And that's it. We moved on to the next thing.